Hello. Thank you for listening to and watching You Had Options. This episode, I have Adam Hussler from the very good Miami hardcore band Power Play. Great conversation. We talk about hardcore music throughout Florida, throughout the years. Talk about Adam's involvement in music and hardcore. His coming ups. We also talk about paint. We talk about smog gear. It's the paint that Adam is involved with. Very interesting. Great conversation. Go check out smog gear. Go check out Power Play at Power Play HXC on Instagram. They have a bunch of dates coming up in January, I believe, and he also announced another tour in this podcast. I'll let you figure that out with a notable Canadian hardcore band. Great band. Change the Canadian national anthem to Wake the Dead. Everybody's been talking about it. Everybody wants it. Just, yeah, it's time, Canada. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Go find You Had Options at You Had Options on Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe. We're on YouTube, all that good stuff. Yeah, hope you enjoy. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, Michael, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So Power Play.
I didn't have options.
you have zero options. That's right, man. Well, we have our ways. We have a way of swatting folks, and so not really. I'm just joking. Gosh, that'd be terrible. That'd be a terrible introduction. You
got sucked in podcast.
Yeah, man, we have all your personal information podcast. But Adam, Power Play, Miami hardcore.
Yep.
What is the Miami hardcore scene like right now?
It's never really gone away. It's been a consistent transition over the years. And thankfully, people like John McHale over at Break Even Booking, and now, the younger generation getting in, you have Jeff over at Equinox, have really turned the scene into something consistent down here. Our biggest problem really down here has always been venues. Yeah, there are venues that will always let you do shows, but there's no real, like, that home field feeling. I feel like that's existed in quite some time. We had Churchill's for a long time, which was affectionately referred to as CBGB's of the South, mostly because it was, once again, one of those bathrooms that nobody ever wants to set foot in. But really, it was just everybody had played there. I mean, Marilyn Manson got their start, and the Spooky Kids got their start there.
Yeah.
And I've seen a hell of a lot of shows there. There were a lot of DIY venues back in the day, like Dog Pound, The Alley, and a bunch of other stuff that we all had shows at. But I mean, it's kind of going with the times. There's a lot of great local bands that are coming out. I'm actually sporting For My Sins, which everybody should check out. Great local band. I believe they just put out something on, if I remember correctly, KOTP Records, I think out of North Florida. You have bands like Domain, which are blowing up, and they have well deserved, heavy as hell. Accelerate, Siesta, our friends in Knock 'em Dead that are still getting back together and playing shows. So, I mean, a lot of great bands from down here in South Florida that are making it happen.
Yeah. Is there, like, I've I've never been to Miami. I've got family in like Tampa and Orlando, but I haven't gone any further south. But I know about Churchill's. Obviously, it's like kind of iconic. But like, are there any like what are like the DIY spots, or like are there underage shows going on in Miami right now, or
So
all ages shows? I guess.
so there are. It really depends on the venue because of that inconsistency in venue housing. It makes it a little bit difficult. You have more privatized places that are doing more of the I call them like the Ticketmaster, Live Nation, AEG venues
Gotcha.
like Revolution, venues like the Culture Room. And I mean, you can still like I mean, I just saw Sunny Day Real Estate there, so I mean, you still get to see great shows.
Yeah.
But it's not that like like that happy DIY meets corporatized medium, if you will,
Right.
where it's just it's a well kept, well taken care of venue, but it's still got that DIY principle and ethics. Me and a few friends actually have been chatting recently. They have a long history in owning and operating nightclubs, venues, lounges, etc. So we've been talking more and more about finding property down here and trying to do our part to help out the scene and give promoters and bookers, as well as whatever we want to do in house, obviously, that
Yeah.
opportunity to have a permanent home to call home, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. It's music. I feel music's always been weird, business or industry or whatever you want to use. But it seems like it's a further delineation now between, you know, like you were saying, the rooms that are like a Live Nation or whatever, which those places uh, uh have their space or whatever, and they I guess they're needed to some extent for the
Right,
bigger shit. But there's no like where's the middleman, which is like the
right.
DIY space and the small like 100-person club, space.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of places that can do like the 100-person show. There's random sports bars like O'Malley's down here in Margate, and you have Gramps, where John McHale from Break Even just did Gorilla Biscuits.
Oh,
So
nice.
I mean, they have a giant outdoor patio area and a stage built out there. So I mean, there's plenty of spaces per se, but there's nothing that really is just like that hardcore. I'll put in the general encompassment, whether it be
Yeah.
metalcore, metal,
Right.
punk, et cetera,
Heavy
et cetera.
music. Yeah, yeah.
Right. That is just like that's the home for it type of thing. Culture Room kind of touts themselves as such, but I mean, like I said, they just did Sunny Day, and when they say heavy music, I mean they do a lot of more of the radio heavy, if you
Yeah, yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah. For
It's where
sure.
you can go see Stained and Disturbed and stuff of that nature.
Yeah, I guess people still want to see, whatever, whatever
You
floats your
know,
boat.
no, more power to them. I'm one of those
Uh,
people that I've always been of the opinion of I don't be the gatekeepers. And
yeah,
we all started somewhere listening to something. I grew up on 90s grunge, so I
yeah.
mean, I'm a Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains.
Well, those are classics.
Well, now they're considered classics, but
Yeah,
like early on in the punk hardcore days, or like not early on, because early on is before I was born even, but
right.
20
Early
years
on.
ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, my early on, 20 years ago, or so, it was more of the like, it's like, that was the same thing that we all looked at as like those mosh metal kids, and
yeah,
everything like that, the hot topic kids and everything like that. So it's one of
yeah,
those things where everything comes full circle and we all get our start somewhere. So I've always just been of the opinion of like, look, we nobody, unless you just were lucky enough to have that older brother, sister, cousin, whatever,
yeah,
that brought you straight up into this. Everybody found it their own way, so let everybody have fun and do their thing.
yeah. That's my older brother definitely got me into it. Gave me the fucking and out come the wolves and shit. Whenever I was, I don't know, 10, I guess. I don't know. That's not. I was born in '89, so it wasn't that.
I'm 83, so
Yeah,
I'm 40, so yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, have you always been in? Miami or the South Florida area?
So I am the rare native born and raised in Miami, non-transplant. So I was in Miami for the better part of my life. I moved up here to a suburb out just outside of Fort Lauderdale called Davie, probably about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Just wanted something a little bit quieter, a little bit more suburban, a little bit more, well, not loud and punk rock, if you
I feel you. Right on.
you get older, you start wanting a little bit of different things.
Yeah.
I've transitioned from the crank the volume to 11 to hey, you kids next door, shut the hell up. I'm trying to get some
Uh,
sleep in here.
yeah,
So,
man. I feel you. Yeah, I'm trying to watch my shows before I go to bed. I get you. My
exactly,
my programs. Uh,
exactly.
were you going to like Daytona Fest and like This Is For You Fest in the early 2000s, and
Oh
were you involved in all that stuff?
that's throwback. No, I got to. I was lucky enough to attend it. Daytona Fest was fun. Always stands out for me is actually getting to see the Geeks play at Daytona Fest. Great hardcore band from Korea.
Are they Korean? Yeah.
Yeah, South Korean.
Yeah.
Uh, I've never met people that English is not their native language that spoke better English than everybody that was there in the crowd, including myself.
Yeah.
It was actually fascinating and speaks wonders to the cultural entitlement that some of us have and
I feel
whatnot.
yeah.
But This Is For You was always fun. Daytona Fest was always fun. You had Magic Fest that was in Orlando for years, and then the last year that they did it was down here in South Florida when Eulogy Records and John Wiley and them put it on. I think that was like 2005 or something like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of great festivals that used to happen down here. And I mean, you also have the old school, like the Hellfests up in Syracuse, that final one in Rexplex that kind of
Yeah.
nailed the coffin shut there.
Yeah.
Well, and then they continued it. I saw overseas, but I mean, there's always been good festivals, and then obviously hanging behind me actually is the you got the reemergence of Furnace Fest the last couple of
Bowie?
years, and I believe you're a Birmingham native if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
So
we're living in Birmingham now. Yeah. I got that same Descendants poster. It's sick. Uh yeah, but you do some stuff for Furnace Fest, right? You do
yeah, yeah.
like stage management stuff.
I have been one of the two Adams, as they affectionately refer to it, that
Nice.
manages the Shed stage since its reincarnation. And it's been an amazing ride. It's always awesome getting to see, bands I grew up on, like, Sick of It All and Gorilla Biscuits and everything like that,
Oh
when I
yeah.
when I first got into hardcore, but also getting to see so many friends I made along the years, playing music with their old bands, playing music with new bands. Uh, it's one of those places where it's that interesting, everybody kind of gets along. You don't really hear about any bullshit and drama. I don't know
Yeah.
if I can I'm sure I can curse,
Go for it. Let it fly, Adam.
any bullshit, any drama that you hear about, or used to hear about throughout the scene, it doesn't really
Yeah.
exist in this weird bubble where it's kind of excommunicated that. I mean, I
Yeah.
had people the first year, I had somebody walk up to me and goes, "Hey man, my friend didn't like you when I knew you like in 2004, and I just want to say like no beef. I apologize." I'm like, I don't know who the fuck you are, bro.
What a
But
fucking
but
weird
but
thing to say
but
to
but
somebody.
but
Yeah.
but we're good, no problems. And I mean, and that also speaks to the volumes of just how we all evolve. Where if you still have problems with somebody for something from 20 years ago, 10 years ago, like none of us are the same people we were yesterday, the day before yesterday, a week ago,
Shit.
a year ago. Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things where it's I stick to the Ted Lasso styling of thinking, where it's that whole be curious, not judgmental. Everybody's so
Yeah.
quick to always kind of point a finger and judge,
Yeah.
but have conversations. Sometimes it's not as bad as
Well,
everybody ends up thinking out.
and there's so much bullshit that's just telephone or lost over like, whatever dumb that people get their feelings hurt over misunderstandings or whatever. And especially like if we're talking about fucking 2004, 2005 hardcore scene of punks where it's just like so much like MySpace bullshit going on and shit like that. It's just
Message boards.
message. Yeah, if I saw what you said on the B9 message board, and I have to, I don't think half hard is, what you said they were or whatever. I'm just making up shit, but
Right.
yeah, yeah, it's funny to think back on like going to shows at because I grew up in Mobile, Alabama, and I don't. It's on the coast. I don't know if you've been through there, but
I
it's
have.
near. Yeah, okay. So like we would go to hardcore show. There'd be a lot of hardcore shows in Pensacola, which is right across into Florida, and just it's funny to think back on. There's just so much bullshit of just kid, teenager bullshit. Growing up bullshit.
It
Yeah,
really is. People. The way I always phrased it is people get caught up in the ecumenical politics of hardcore,
yeah,
and it's absolute nonsense because it's supposed to be the place where we escape the politics, the judgment, the bullshit,
right.
and everything else. Everybody's got some story about them that
Yeah,
says that they're sketchy, says that they're an asshole, says that they're this
yeah,
type of person, that says
yeah.
that and I mean, and on the other side you have people that masqueraded as good people for so long that
It's
get
true.
called out. I mean, a perfect example, and this is no offense to anybody that was in the band or anything, but like you have bands like Anti-Flag where they had this whole consistent message of standing up for women and standing up for all these things, and then we saw in great crashing fire how that ended during this
Yeah,
past year. And I saw even friends that were personally affected by it.
yeah,
I had bands that I played with decades ago that hearing former singers and guitarists from other bands that are accused of sexual assault and being acting inappropriate and everything, and like me being like, wow, I'm ashamed that I was that blind that I didn't even know this was going on when I was even around. And and then I'd have personal friends message me, be like, I was one of the they were one of the victims. And I'm just like, why didn't you say, like, I wish you would have said something when, you know, then I'm glad you're saying something now, and I'm glad you found your peace and everything like that.
yeah,
And hopefully, this never happens again and this, these people disappear. But like, no matter what, whether it be the hardcore community, whether it be punk, whether it be, I would say any community and in any genre of music or any even sports legion, except for ska. Somehow ska, no matter what, everybody's just happy. Nobody gives a fuck.
we're all
It's
well adjusted.
true.
We're all well adjusted people in the ska community. Yeah,
When have you ever heard somebody having beef in ska?
that's true. I
It
can't.
doesn't.
I can't think of like the I don't know, the real big fish guy with his big hair hates whoever.
the, the boss the boss tones are fighting Goldfinger on the side of the stage.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But so it's one of those things where I've always just been of the mindset of like, you know, if you don't like me, cool, you don't like me. Not everybody's gonna like me, and I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And if I don't like you, same thing. And if you do like me, also cool. I'm always going to be friendly. I'm always going to be who I am and try to be as authentic and genuine as I can be.
Man.
And we're human beings. We're all fallible, but at the end of the day, it's one of those things that I strive to at least try to give back as much as I have been, as much as I've gained
Yeah.
from things around me. Hardcore had a weird way of shaping my life.
Yeah.
I even had a 7 to 9 year hiatus that I just disappeared and focused on my career. It was just, and I mean, it's funny because now people ask me what I'm listening to, and I'll talk about like the Defeater record that came out 10 years ago, 12, more than that. Whenever Letters Home came out, I
Yeah.
think it's like 2010, 2012. And I was like, this is the first hardcore record that's dropped in my lap that I've wanted to listen to consistently in God knows how long. So
Yeah.
it was always one of those weird things. But I try, I try to give back. I do a lot of stuff with the LBGT community. I do a lot of stuff, like I said, I just try to stay involved and do what I can to, you know,
Yeah.
give back and put, whatever I want to get out of this world, I want to also put into it. So I've changed a lot of mentalities over the last 20 years, and you
Yeah.
know, not as angry, not as bitter, what
Yeah.
have you.
Life, hey man, tomorrow's not promised. Life's too short to be angry at every little thing, you know. I feel that. I think that's a good kind of mantra to have, of the like leave a place better than you found it type of uh idea, or pay it forward
100%.
type of thing, especially if you're in a touring band for, hardcore punk, whatever, a DIY touring band. It's like there's so much shit that is going to go wrong that you can't control, of whatever, your tire exploding, whatever,
Right.
bullshit. The venue doesn't know there's a show tonight, that sort of shit. But
Been there.
yeah, oh yeah. uh but
Well,
like,
I mean, that learning process is not linear,
yeah,
which
no, you're right.
so many people like to pretend it is.
Yeah,
It's a consistent learn and relearn process, and not
yeah,
everybody's going to get it right the first time, because we're human beings. But it's one of
yeah,
those things that if we're able to turn around and learn from mistakes and grow from them, and try to become better people, some people are never going to give you that opportunity to become the better person. Some people
it's
are
true.
going to want to see you fall flat on your face no matter what. I'm just going to keep doing me.
Yeah, yeah, it's especially, yeah. Man, I didn't expect this to be like uh our maturity podcast episode, but I appreciate it.
Hardcore and psychology 101.
Well, it's, yeah, man. Well, it's, there's, as just to harp back on it, there's just so much uncontrollable bullshit out there. Like, control the stuff you can, you know. Uh yeah.
That's my biggest thing is control. I control what I can control. The rest of
Yeah.
it is not in my hands. So I'm just going to
Right.
roll with
Yeah.
ride the wave, and hope it takes me somewhere safe.
What what were some of your favorite bands you saw at Furnace Fest this past year?
Oh man.
What were some sets that stood out to you?
So getting the amazing opportunity to do Blistered with Strife, uh which was probably my that might be my highlight for all of my my Furnace Fest so
Yeah.
far. Just that, that ability to do that song, and just to get up there with Rick, who is an amazing vocalist, and just
Yeah.
Andrew Klein, who runs War Records, which is an amazing label. He's putting out a lot of great stuff. And then of course, Chad and everybody else. It was just really
Yeah.
cool moment. The Bane set was absolutely phenomenal. I I love my job in working with the guys from Furnace Fest, with Johnny and Chad
Yeah.
and Ryan and Mike, because it gives me that opportunity. I'm an old broken kid at 40. No, legitimately. Unfortunately, I have some medical, spinal issues and shit
I
like
got you.
that.
Yeah.
So I'm that guy that, retired from moshing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I always love those mosh retirement videos
Coming out of
that
Mosh Retirement.
Dude
Stanley.
Stanley
Yeah, yeah.
does. Yes, yes. And so I'm more of the, I'm happy with my little spot on the side of the stage,
Yeah.
singing along and still feeling the same feelings that I had, when I was a
Yeah.
kid. And getting to see, this year Bane was freaking amazing. Strife was amazing. Trash Talk and that whole thing with him climbing the top of the hanging rigs from to the top of the rafters, and then like throwing me his bass. I'm like, dude, and he's like, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, "Are you gonna count down?" And he just lets it go. I'm like,
There
"Holy
you go,
shit, the
man.
bass is flying at
Be ready.
me!"
Yeah.
Drain. It was awesome seeing them. Yeah, I purposely choose to not check out some of the bands ahead of time that I haven't had a chance to see live. I don't want to know what to expect. I
Yeah.
just kind of want to go, and see it. Zulu was great. There were. I'm trying to think if there was. There were even. You want to know what? I'll give some shout outs to some more local bands.
Yeah.
No Cure was
Oh
fucking
fuck. Yeah.
awesome.
No Cure is great.
And I was so happy that I now get to talk back and forth with Blythe, who is phenomenal front man.
He's a nice
And it
person
was
too. A
yeah, just a
genuine nice person.
genuine
Yeah.
sweet guy.
Yeah.
And you know, they put out probably one of the best records I've heard in the last 10 years.
It's pretty
That
hot. Pretty good.
it's heavy as hell, and
Yeah.
I know they're doing well on their tour right now, and
Yeah.
just it was just so funny. What, like, you know, I see this band set up, and then I see this dude walk out with glittery square glasses,
Yeah.
wearing a full
Puffer jacket.
puffer jacket,
Yeah.
but then he's got a probably 10-inch Bowie knife sheathed hanging from his hip, and he's just doing the whole set like that, and I'm just like, what the fuck just happened?
Damn.
Orthodox and
Yeah.
inclination were both, you know,
Yeah.
it was being a non-straight edge person, seeing such a reemergence of straight edge hardcore, but just like really good straight edge hardcore
Yeah.
was so fucking refreshing and so awesome.
Yeah.
Just to be able to witness it and be there for it, you know. But of course, seeing Hatebreed without a barrier, you know, like, and everybody behaved until I Will Be Heard, and then it was kind of like
Well,
I just remember
you got to.
well, Jamie's standing on his little platform thing, and I'm sitting there, and I have his T-shirt like crumpled in my hand, the back of his shirt, and I'm
Damn.
just basing him from behind because, like, you know, the tidal wave of kids
Yeah.
crashing over, and he just looks at me and he's just like, "Thank you," and I'm like, "You're good, bro. Just
Yeah, man.
let's wrap this shit up." I ain't
God damn. Man,
you know,
it's
let's get out of here safe and get on with it. But you know, it's getting to work with the other Adam Harris, you know, my best friend Matt, and my other great friend Will, all weekend in managing that stage and keeping everybody safe. And you know, everybody says like it's a completely different experience because the guys that are working here are helping us on stage instead of being like, "Yo, get the hell off the stage." You know, instead Matt and Will
yeah.
are sitting there literally being your stage dive valet, if you will, you know,
Yeah.
one arming people up, and you know, I mean, they're getting to work out all weekend. So
Well, yeah, it's not some, no offense to anybody, but it's not like a contracted like security service that doesn't know like what's going on. Like these
right,
people aren't trying to hurt the singer or the band,
right.
that are jumping around.
No,
It's
it's
part of
hardcore
the thing.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hardcore kids policing hardcore kids, and I mean, and there are contracted security, so you know, it is a safe environment, which are all
Yeah.
the yellow shirts that are going around. But even, you know, like I made a post in the Furnace Fest community group because the outpouring response of the love that they had, even for like the quote unquote uniformed security
Yeah.
staff. You know, like one of them took their lunch break and they were like, "Yo, let them dance during Throwdown," and there's videos all over YouTube now. You know, for anybody who listens to this who doesn't believe me, go watch security guy dancing during Throwdown at Furnace Fest. He got in the pit with everybody, you know, and you know, they were talking to me, they were talking to the other Adam, they were talking to Johnny and all the other promoters, and they were like, "Man, like we've never had an experience like this working security where it's just so chill and everybody like likes us instead of being like fuck the security type of thing."
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just a great thing on another level, and just great experience overall. Like, I mean, I'm set, if this really is the finality of it, at least in its, you know, existence as it is right now. It obviously makes me really sad. Obviously, very selfishly, I've already told Johnny we want to play. I told him, dude, I don't care if I have to open and be the first band to play on the
Hey,
first
man.
day when there's nobody there. Like, I just want to be able to be like, I did this. Give me my 20 minutes, and I'm working the rest of the weekend. Like, you
There
know.
you go. Well, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. They, they're
I mean, there's always rumors of
talking with Johnny. It was like the first incarnation was 4 years. This second incarnation, this is going to be the fourth year. So, I don't know.
It doesn't mean that it needs to come to an end. In my opinion, and I'm sure in a lot of people's opinions.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I mean, you know, nowadays you have all the people doing, you know, stuff like, you know, the metal cruise that just happened.
Yeah.
With Lamb Goat and everything like that. You had Gorilla Biscuits playing the Salty Dog Cruise of flogging Molly and
Oh, yeah.
you know, the Interrupters and everything. So I mean, there is room for those mixed genre, getaways. You can always reimagine Furnace Fest into something that's almost like a Warp Tour, where it's certain bands doing certain legs of it, and there you go, you have your summer tours booked out. So I mean, there's a
Yeah.
million ways to go about it, and luckily there's the great minds behind not
Yeah.
just the four of them that put this together, but all the people working behind the scenes like Lee
Yeah.
and Alana and everybody
Yeah.
else really keep it going, and it's a team effort, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, I think the Beals do a lot more than people. They got their hands in like everything, pretty
They
much.
they deserve a trophy or a
What, a
cuddle
plaque,
or
something. Well,
something.
maybe we can put a plaque on the bridge, the overpass that's at the
That would be
yeah.
the Merch Alley.
Yeah, the merch alley.
Call it Furnace Fest Bridge,
Mm-hmm.
renaming it. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'll there'll always be a continuation. You have Johnny and Josh and a couple others that are now doing Work Play, which is
Oh, yeah.
multi-purpose venue in your neck of the woods. So
Yeah.
looking forward to being able to playing that venue at some point.
Yeah.
Once I think he said it was like February that they're planning on, being able to at least soft launch it.
Yeah. But you guys are coming up to Birmingham.
We are.
This date is announced. When are you?
January
12th?
Yep. Friday, January 12th. It's going to be a Furnace Fest Presents show.
Yeah.
There are
Firehouse?
some great.
Where is it?
I don't know how much I'm allowed to confirm. I was
okay. Whatever.
I was asked.
I'll promote it.
I'll promote it. I was asked until flyers were put out there, but
okay. Whenever all that information is public, I will reshare and do all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want Josh getting mad at me.
I don't blame you. No, I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
But no, there's some great bands on there. I'm pretty sure I guess.
Sure.
I don't think I'm in trouble.
Nah. I'm a ask for forgiveness type of guy, over permission,
So I mean, Strike Zone is going to be playing the show with us. So and I know Nick from Furnace Fest and everything like that. So
nice.
definitely looking forward to that. And then Cold Hard Steel as well. JT, also know him through Furnace Fest, so they're going to be playing as well.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be one other band. I've been pushing for Johnny's Kids Band to open up the show.
Yeah. What's the name of it? We talked about it in our episode, me and Johnny. It was something.
I'm trying to remember now.
The name was hard as hell. It was like it went hard. Fuck. It's gonna kill me. I'll have to look it up.
This is gonna be a 5-minute brain racking.
But no, it was. I was like, damn, that's a hard name that for some teenagers to come up with.
Oh yeah, no, like I mean, look, I love that so many people that I've known for so long are parents of now like preteens and teenagers.
Yeah.
And I mean even Brooke, who does our buttons and stickers, her kid is Gabe, from Kids in the Pit and everything, and he's got a great podcast that he does. Nice. So I mean, they're getting out there, they're getting active. The youth are going to keep this going, as they say.
Well, that's what it's always the next wave, the next age group or whatever. That's what's going to keep the thing going. If it's just guys like us making the music and it just stops there, then it's like, okay, well, it's just dead. After us, it's just gone. Yeah.
I'm 40. I'm half broken. So there's an eventuality where all this comes to an end. And obviously with trying to balance that career, now, the joy of working remote now. And the funny thing is, I've been working remote since like 2015.
Oh,
So
nice.
like once everybody learned during the pandemic, oh wait, this is something that's completely feasible. Just seeing the general reaction where I'm like, yes, this is just a middle finger to middle people that were middle managers that were like,
Yeah.
cool, I don't need you micromanaging me
I
every
need to
5
see them.
minutes.
I need to be able to put hands on them. If we're paying
Right.
them, I need to touch them, on the shoulder,
Exactly.
not in like a weird way, but like I need to be able to put hands on them, you know.
Well, and
Uh,
being able to do what I do remotely, where it's, as long as I have a phone and I can, jump on a Wi-Fi hotspot or something like that,
yeah,
doing stuff, and also, just doing something that's fulfilling after working for so many soul-crushing companies for a long time, being able to work in the sustainability area and working on, essentially helping to try to save the planet.
yeah.
Is personal fulfilling for me. So it's one of those
Can you
things where
talk?
it's
Do you want to talk about your? I didn't want
we
to.
can we yeah no
Okay.
we're not leaving anything off limits, man.
Okay.
You can
Well,
come with the hard hitter.
so I've had people on here where I've like tried to ask them about their like personal career or whatever, and they'll be like, later on they'll be like, can you cut that out for me? And I was like, oh yeah, man, I don't care, whatever, because
G14 classified.
yeah. Well, it's like I don't know. I've had some people in bands on here who are lawyers, like, and they're like, people know, but like I don't want to, advertise that. But
Sure.
yeah. So what do you do in the sustainability
So
field?
I'm VP of strategy for an eco tech company.
Okay.
We were able to. I'm trying to figure out how to layman this as easy as possible instead of talking. The
Oh
funny
no,
thing
yeah,
is the other interviews I do, I got to be all buttoned up and I got to get into the science of stuff
yeah.
versus just like being like. So essentially, what we did was we created the world's first and only legitimate carbon negative air purifying paint and cement
Oh wow.
aggregate and concrete aggregate.
Okay.
So there are two divisions of what we do. I handle what is called smog armor, which is our paint side, and then the other side is carbon limit, which is the concrete side. Um, and so basically, publicly traded company. So obviously, I can't talk about all the little echelons
Nah,
of things,
you don't have to. No.
but
But like, so smog. Like, I was looking on your Instagram. I was doing some snooping, uh, but like the smog armor stuff was interesting to me. So like, can you like a dumbed down version of how smog armor works?
sure.
Like, what is
So
that?
when anybody that is a painter that works construction or has
Yeah.
uses paint even for art, we have a lot of muralists that use our stuff.
Mm.
um Essentially, I could sit in this room right now, doors, vents, everything closed, and have somebody painting the walls with our paint right now, and I don't need to wear a mask, I don't need to wear any type of protective gear or anything
Damn.
like that. The active mineral fusion that we have created within the paint's chemistry, essentially once that paint dries on the wall, turns that wall into a giant HEPA filter that's going to last anywhere from 6 to 10 years depending on its exposure. It works on a
Okay.
trifecta kind of motion. It eliminates VOCs, which are volatile organic compounds. So perfect example is during the pandemic, everybody and their mother used Lysol or some type
Right.
of
Right.
smelling cleaning
Spray thing.
product.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So those smells that you smell when you're using cleaning products and stuff like that are not like those, seventh generation or natural based cleaning products, if you will. Those are all volatile organic compounds, which means that it's anything that is volatile that if you absorb it via smelling, via breathing it in, it is harmful to the organic body. And
Okay.
so our paint actually eliminates those toxicities in the air. The other big thing, and I've actually had a couple friends that have house pets that have used it for, is it eliminates odor.
Mm.
I have had friends that have painted the room where they keep their cat litter box,
Shit. Yeah.
and about 4 days later they messaged me and they're like, "Dude, I did not know the cat went to the bathroom that much until I because usually I'll smell it. I
Yeah.
they were like, I wanted to support you, so I tried the paint out, but I didn't know it was like that." And I'm like, "Oh no, it's like that." And the great thing was like seeing third party labs come back with scientific results that it was effective against even stuff like formaldehyde, which for those who don't know, you're breathing in formaldehyde more often than you think.
Yeah.
The carpet glue, the glue that holds your furniture together, that new car smell when you buy a new car, that new leather smell that you get in those
Yeah.
cars. Those are all things that are all volatile organic compounds that you're breathing in that are actually harming
Jesus.
your respiratory system and everything. So it's really cool, just to be able to see something that can make a difference. I've had people that have purchased our paint that have had health issues where they're doing like the UV filters on the air conditioned vents, and they got to
Yeah.
go crazy with the amount of which particular products that they're using,
Yeah.
as well as like allergy asthma standards and everything like that. So just to see all of that come to fruition, and see something that I have my hands in, that can make a difference, and even if it improves the life of one person, I'm, I improve the life of one person.
Yeah, man. Better than
I'm happy
zero.
with
Better than hurting
it.
people. Yeah.
100%.
What's so can people buy small armor from like Home
Yeah,
Depot
absolutely.
or
So we don't do big box retail.
okay?
There a lot of convoluted stuff that
Yeah,
goes into
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they're free to reach out. They can go to the smogarmor.com website and reach out to us directly, and we can just tell them to mention the podcast.
Yeah,
Mention the You Had Options
use
podcast,
you had
and
options for 100% off smog armor. No, that's not true.
no, yeah.
We'll pay you
That's
to
where
use smog armor. No.
that's where we cut the podcast.
Yeah. Skirt, skirt. Well, record.
I end up getting the message from my boss like in a couple weeks. So did you give away?
No. So through the website is the best place to buy it.
Through the website's the best place to buy it, or reach out through the contact medium on the website.
Okay.
And just but yes, by all means, mention
Yeah.
hearing Adam talk about it on the You Had Options
Hell
podcast,
yeah.
and
What,
we'll.
Can you do any color? If people give you like a
So that's
how's
the
that
awesome
work?
part. All you have to do is give me the color code, and we can
Like
color match it.
the hex value or whatever, the
Well, not even so.
number?
So let's say you have like a Sherwin-Williams or a Benjamin Moore, and it's
Yeah.
it's blue 110,
Oh,
Sherwin
okay.
SW 1101. All you got to do is message, hey, I need 5 gallons of SW 1101, color matched,
Okay.
and we can color match it.
Oh, it's
So,
interesting.
I mean, it's been great. We worked with municipalities that have redone their entire city halls, and town squares, because the great part about it is the amount of CO2 that 1 gallon of paint absorbs is the equivalency to a full-size adult tree. So for every gallon of paint that you use, you're essentially planting a full-size adult tree in the amount of CO2 it's actually going to absorb and take out of the air.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling.
Didn't think I would talk about this didn't think I would talk about this on a more music-driven podcast.
Oh man, we talk about everything, man. It's nothing's off limits.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man.
No, paint is not off limits on this podcast. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, I know there's plenty of artists. I know there's a lot of people. I mean, I've had people that have met me at Furnace Fest that did the same thing, saw what I did for a living, and they were like, "Wait, what the hell?" And they were like, "Can we get paint through you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, go."
Well, yeah. Well, it was just like, yeah, I was looking, through your profile, and I was like, smog armor. That sounds fucking cool. So let me check out what that is. I didn't know what I was gonna find. I didn't know if it was gonna be like you make armor for like role playing people that are like 10 magic, 10 magic, 10 magic. That sort of like role playing stuff. But
no, this is real
way
life,
cooler.
not role playing.
Yeah, this is real shit. Yeah, man, that's cool. I don't have any paint projects I need paint right now, but I will definitely put that. Yeah, I'll definitely put that in the back of my brain.
Absolutely.
Man, are there? Yeah, it is crazy. Like, just to think about how they built buildings and like what shit they're like lead based paint and shit they were using to build, and 50 years ago. you know?
It's still happening. Hate to
Yeah,
break your heart,
exactly. Yeah.
man. So it's funny. Everybody thinks that lead-based paint doesn't exist anymore and that it's been outlawed or this, that, and the other.
No,
Not in any way, shape, or form.
no, man.
All you need to do is literally get a special certificate and letter, and you can actually use lead-based paint on certain things. A lot of them end up happening because of the oxidation levels from just sun and weathering exposures on
Yeah.
those little bridges that go over canals and stuff like that and over rivers,
Mm,
which is also, of course, terrible because you paint those, then it runs off into the river or the water supply. And
the ecosystem's getting fucked.
no, I mean, in more ways than one. It's been going,
Well,
but that's been going on for a long time.
yeah. Is it, I guess, it's obviously it's got to be like cheaper to use like shitty materials or like materials that aren't good for humans or
Well, I
any
mean,
living organism.
it's the old expression, you get what you paid for.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things. Is it worth it to you to, paint your own house and your own safety, your kids' safety, your family safety, your safety, with something that's better for your body, or is it better to, turn around and breathe in whatever other
Oh
noxious stuff
man.
is going on? Like I said, it's that evolution of self where it's trying to do something better,
Yeah.
across the board. I mean, whether it be this, whether it be the engagement in the LBGT community, whether it be I mean, the multiple things that I have my hands in at the end of the day, whether
Yeah.
it be playing music and being just a loud ass with an opinion and a microphone that it's one of those if you want to sing along because you're digging what I have to say, fucking awesome. And if you don't agree with anything I have to say, fucking awesome. Opinions are like assholes. We all have them, and they're all full of shit. So,
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Uh
it's one of those. I try to write things that are a lot more personal now. Everything on the upcoming EP that is being recorded at Burke's Dungeon, which is Burke from Magnitude, is actually
nice.
our engineer, and shout out to him. He's been absolutely amazing, and through the whole process in getting us there. He also recorded For My Sins Domain, a lot of the up and coming hardcore bands, or already out there hardcore bands, I should
Yeah.
say, especially in the South Florida area, and anybody that's listening to this that has a band that is down for the travel. I mean, I couldn't recommend him enough. He's got the ear for it. He's got
Yeah.
the ear. He's got the talent. I recommend him 100%. But everything on the upcoming EP, which is going to be titled Sealed Envelopes. And the reason for that is I wanted to do something slightly conceptual. And what it is all the songs and lyrics in one way, shape, or form are letters to friends, family, myself, a multitude of different things that, I tried to make it as personal as possible while
Yeah.
still keeping it broad where nobody really knows, where it can be easily reflected upon by,
Yeah.
it's not a, my life, my story, fuck
Right.
everybody, that type of thing. Um, so it was finding that happy medium, and there's songs about other members of the band, and the people that have the songs that are about them, know that they're about them. I'm public about it when I talk about it'll be the last song on the album. It's known as the quote unquote heavier song that we the much heavier song that we have, but it's called The Bottle Won't Get Me Tonight. And it's funny because every time we've played, people will ask me afterwards, like, "Oh, are you guys a straight edge band?" And like, I'm like, there's no X's on any of our hands, and I'd probably be the closest to it, considering I really don't, do
Yeah.
any substance or anything. It's just, not gonna call myself anything,
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it was personal to me because my best friend, Matt, who actually worked Furnace Fest with me, the bald gentleman with the beard, not the bald gentleman that was 6'5".
Okay.
um, but he very was very public about fighting with sobriety.
Mm.
Luckily, it was the bottle. So I'm not saying that that's,
Oh yeah. Nah, yeah, yeah. I
one's
gotcha.
better than the other type
Nah, no, no.
thing, but
It
luckily it was,
all is tough.
escaping,
Yep.
yeah, no, that, and now being a decade sober, finishing his RN degree,
Nice.
degree, and really turning his life into something where he's worked at a rehab facility for the last 4 years, 5 years. So really turning around and taking that former negative into a positive of being like, well, now I'm clean. So now let me help others get clean. And like him and I actually met not in the punk rock scene, but playing adult social sports like softball and kickball.
Okay.
Yeah, we met in the
Yeah.
kickball scene in
The kickball scene. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that scene, and I've been involved in it for over a decade now, running the world championships out in Vegas,
Oh
with a
wow.
team of amazing people. And Matt was one of the people that I hadn't met, that I think it's 8 years ago, 9 years ago, maybe a decade now. I know it was just after he had sobered up.
Yeah.
But he gets off the elevator as I'm about to get on the elevator in the host hotel, and he's wearing an H2O jersey, and I am wearing, I think, an Old Bane shirt, and it's that Spider-Man, you,
Yeah, yeah.
the Spider-Man point thing. Did we just become best friends? Do
Did
you want
we?
to go
Yep.
do
Yep.
do you want to go do karate in my garage?
Yeah.
And it blossomed into an amazing friendship, or as his wife refers to it, the bromance,
Bromance. Yeah.
which she celebrates very tremendously for us. So she's a huge fan of mine and his bromance. We'll do our own vacations, and then we'll always vacation together as
Oh yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
it's fucking awesome. But just being able to take his story and reflect upon that, and be able to sing something that is important, where it's that substance in general won't get you, but and not letting it weigh you down and defeat you, and being able to climb out of the gutter and the shadows and the thick of bullshit,
Yeah.
and get yourself to a healthy place. And it's one of those things where I always say it when we play. I'm like, look, all respect in the world to everybody who's been edge since day one type of thing, never touched anything, and whatnot. The song certainly goes out to them, but it's more for the people that have gone through fucking hell and back, that have blown a bunch of fucking, blow up their nose, and injected poison into their veins, or
Yeah.
chain smoked pack after pack, or killed, rack after rack of beers, and got themselves, into a healthier place to live to tell about it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, I saw personally firsthand with him, what it took to get out of there. And so it's that amount of pride as a friend and as a brother that I feel that, I like to, conveying that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's that's commendable. Yeah, good for Matt. Shout out to
Yeah.
Matt for, good on him, dude.
Now
Yeah.
he's just gonna pop for watching the podcast. I'm gonna be like, now you got to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, man. We're at the end. We're at the death of the podcast. Yeah, man. You got to watch the whole thing, baby. That's how I get people. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for the 6-song EP.
When is that? You guys are recording that right now?
So I believe we're wrapping up. I'm back in the studio this Thursday.
Nice.
From the looks of it, it should be wrapped at that point, and then it's the mixing, mastering.
Yeah.
I don't rush Burke. I let him do it on his time. The man knows
And
what he's doing.
we got, what is this? Thanksgiving. There's shit going on and all that stuff.
Yeah, tis
Yeah.
the season, right?
Tis the season.
Should be able, hopefully, to drop it by the time we are hitting the road in January. Obviously everything that we're going to play is going to be off that EP. Got a couple
Yeah.
covers in our back pocket to give the folks that don't get a chance to hear it, or don't know us yet, or don't want to know us, the opportunity to at least jam for 3 to 6 minutes, depending on the punk rock song.
Yeah.
So excited about that. And then I guess I'll drop the initial bombshell here. Really excited that we are going to be doing a couple of the tail end of the South America dates, just because it ended up perfect on schedule with something we had already been planning out, and great friendships with them. Is we're going to be doing the back end of the Comeback Kid South America tour at the end of February, beginning of March. So looking forward to seeing a lot of great people that I got to meet from Costa Rica and Colombia at Furnace Fest, actually.
Hell yeah.
And just all the ducks kind of aligned where they announced it. We had already started working on, these little segments here.
Nice.
So really excited to do that. Really excited. We're gonna have a couple guest vocals on the tracks on the EP. We got my buddy Mark from Shutdown, who they just reissued their old EP on Equal Vision, and they're gonna, I believe, have something new for the masses, which is freaking amazing. That band has definitely stood the test of time, and they are, one of the greats out of New York. Waiting to Blaith is gonna be chatting with me when he gets back from tour, because we had a little conversation. I sent him a little
Nice.
something to see.
Yeah. Hell
So
That's cool.
always down to just make good friends, have good times, and that's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
Continue learning and growing as people, and just having fucking fun.
Yeah.
This life is too short to be taken too fucking
Yeah, man.
serious, and
Man.
especially in our scene, too much
Yeah.
of it gets taken way too serious.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah. Adam. Well, yeah. I mean, I think we've hit everything. And I'll share. I need you to stay on for a minute after
Sure.
I hit stop, but I'll share all the links, all that good stuff.
Awesome.
But Adam, you had options, but you decided to talk to me, and I appreciate it.
No, the pleasure was all mine, Mike. Thanks for having me on here, and looking forward to seeing everybody on the road, and everybody check us out, Powerplay HXC on Instagram, and see you guys on the road.
Hell yeah, I'll definitely be in Birmingham. I'll be at the Birmingham show. Hell yeah. Okay.
Got the guest list.
There you go. Hell yeah. Stay on for a second.
Yeah.